A very pleasant good afternoon as we welcome you into yet another edition of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead Show. I hear from Quaker Steak and Lube, our favorite place to be, and the dear Goon wearing
Life
the
is good right now.
the jersey.
Life is absolutely fantastic.
See,
right
I don't see it that way.
I'm just telling you that. I woke up this morning, the sun was shining.
Well, at least as a Penguins fan, you can appreciate. The Flyers have to be playing top-notch hockey because Pittsburgh is just making everything so difficult for them. Just sharp on both ends of the ice. What are you going to do? Sometimes you run into a better team.
Yep.
Or it could be that the Penguins have just completely forgotten how to play hockey. Good Lord.
They're playing some kind of brand of hockey that the Flyers tried for a while and stunk.
I'm telling you, it has been the craziest first two games. And you keep thinking as a Penguins fan, all right, well, they're going to go into the locker room and figure out, all right, let's go play some hockey, boys. And that just has not happened. The third period, I would say in game two was their best period of hockey, but that's not saying a whole lot in the overall scheme of things. And you would expect it to be their best period. What is most frustrating, and there is a long list of frustrating things about this series from the Pittsburgh side, but what is most frustrating is that not only are they not taking advantage of the power plays, they give up one in game two. It has just been abysmal. And if you're a Flyers fan, you're almost rooting for the Penguins to go on the power play.
I'm reveling in the moment right now just hearing you.
It is just...
I've never been so happy to listen to you
it is
rant.
Two of the worst games that the Penguins have played all season. And they had that brutal stretch. They got off to the good start, then had that brutal stretch. I'm sure there were some games there that were worse, but
it's complete role reversal.
It's been awful.
It's complete role reversal. Like the Penguins are the chippier team. They're taking stupid damn penalties. I mean, the Flyers are getting stupid penalties, but the Pens, like that end of game.
Yeah,
that was a trademark ridiculous. Flyers last night, and here I am watching my man Rick Tocchet coach the Flyers, and you figured he'd be wound up, ready to go for all that, and he's got Porter Martone out on the ice, and it's still late in the third period. Guys are running at him, and I'm just like sitting there. I was like, do we not have some goons we could just throw out there? I mean, even Tocchet was just like, we're good. And they just sat at the top of the zone and passed the puck back. That was what got me at the end of the game. The Pens were just done when they just sat on top of the offensive zone, passing the puck back and forth for 45 seconds during a power play. And the Pens just sat back and said, "Let's get this game over with and get the hell out of here."
The one thing, and I'm just speaking about this in general terms, because I think it's important to look out for the well-being of athletes, and I do think we need to look and really I would implement it immediately, and that is. You should not. It's too long of a year for a college kid to go through a college season, Goon, and then go into professional hockey. They need to take that spring and summer off and then get themselves ready physically.
Acclimate.
Cycle. Exactly. I think we could all agree on that because these kids they're not ready coming out of college if they've just completed a college season. You need to acclimate them and get them worked into the system. You can't try to rush a guy up, right?
Sure.
Force him to play.
I know exactly
at the NHL level. And again, I'm just talking theoretically. I don't even have anything in mind as I'm saying this. I'm just there's been a lot of talk about looking out for the well-being of the athletes, and it just
no. Since we started paying them in college, they're professionals now in college, so it's like it's all good.
Exactly. They don't even need NHL money because they're already being compensated, so they can take that year of acclimation. That's even a better point, dear God.
I'm on board.
So I just think that's something that they
Gavin
need to
McKenna
take
should
care
come
of.
back
So,
for another year. Then that's what should happen.
That is what should happen.
Yep.
As a matter of fact.
Yes, it is pretty damn amazing that we watched that kid play in Beaver Stadium in January.
Yeah, how about
and now he's out there. I mean,
winning games in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I didn't hear it until last night because I'm not going to lie to you. I have not watched many Flyers games this year, and until they got hot towards the end, I'm definitely jumped back on the bandwagon. I definitely had fallen off for a long time, just like you and your Pirates fans now. I mean, now they're all lifetime. Never stopped watching them. I get it. I know the routine.
Oh, yeah.
But Mardone, they said he grew up in Alberta or somewhere out west, maybe even, and a lifelong Flyers fan is what he said.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that is amazing. That would be absolutely awesome because what they went through with Cutter Gauthier being a Penguins and Sidney Crosby fan and didn't want to play for the Philadelphia Flyers. Which is that's the definition of a rivalry, by the way. When a kid comes to the NHL and says, "I'm not playing for you because I'm a Penguins fan and I hate the Flyers that much," like that is a hateful. That's a good hate, but Mardone out there. I mean, I saw a name last night, Jeffrey. They said it was the first Philadelphia Flyer to score 2 goals in a playoff game, his first 2 playoff games since Todd Bergen.
Yeah,
no one remembers that name. I do. He was in 85 when the Flyers had like a miraculous run to the Cup. It was Tockett's rookie season. And they had Tocchet, Peter Zezel, Derek Smith, Scott Mellenby. And they had like this core nucleus of like really, really, really tough kids. Played the game well. And then, Bobby Clark was retiring in that era type of thing. So this was the new bunch. And Todd Bergen was on fire in the playoffs. But if you remember who the coach was for the Philadelphia Flyers in 85 and 86 was Mike Keenan. And all you're doing now is reading just nightmare stories about how bad of a person Keenan was as a coach. And I remember like it was yesterday because I remember the name Todd Bergen. And I was like, whatever happened to him? He quit hockey after his rookie or second year because Mike Keenan drove him absolutely insane.
Is that right?
He quit hockey. He just walked away from the game. And there's a guy who had a real nice future ahead of him, and Keenan just did not understand how to handle rookies. He just ran them and worked them and this and that, and treated them like crap. And he was either his way or the highway. And then you read stories about Mike Keenan having issues with Wayne Gretzky. Like, come on, dude. Like, let's chill this one down here a little bit. The great one can do whatever the hell he wants. But yeah, I saw that name last night, and it instantly brought me back to. I remember that series. They took the Oilers to Game 7. That was an unbelievable time. That's when Hextall was a rookie. Pele had just died 2 years. No, wait, let me think now. Pele had died that year. Oh, no. Pele was the goalie. Excuse me. I apologize. Because Pele died in 85, 86. Pele Lindbergh.
Yeah.
The curse of Pele is over this year, as you could. I don't know if you could tell that last night.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, we've seen series change and change dramatically, and obviously, if you're a Penguins fan, that's what you're hoping for. But they just look so lost and confused right now, and it's not like. Listen, the Flyers obviously have a speed advantage and a youth advantage. There's no doubt about that. But some of the things that what you're hoping as a Penguins fan offsets that is, hey, we have some cagey veterans. They know how to handle some things, and it's just the opposite. Like they look lost. Again, the power play in Game 2 was about as frustrating a thing as I remember watching in quite some time, where you're like, will they be able to get a shot on goal on one of these? Maybe. And then, they end up giving up the shorthanded goal. But it's just, there's a lot of sloppy play, but also just and I mean, I love Chris Letang, but I don't know that he could have played worse in these first 2 games or been more of an asset for the Flyers. And it feels like he's trying to be cute when it is, again, playoff hockey is all about get the puck on the net. Don't let the other team get open ice opportunities. I mean, it is all about just not being cute. Like, just get it, grind it out, get it to general area, and let your guys try to go get it. And even was it at the end of now I'm forgetting if it was the first or second period. I think it was toward the end of the second. But remember, the Penguins had they got the puck with like 7 seconds left on the face of it. They get it to Letang, and there's like 2 seconds. They have guys in front of the net, and he tries to like this slick little pass, and it goes absolutely nowhere. And it's like you've got to understand the situation, and like that was not the time. But it's just been consistent decisions like that by Letang in particular, and the team in general. And just a very frustrating first couple of games from the Pittsburgh perspective. The Philly crowd is going to be all kinds of.
No, they are not. It'll be very welcoming, quiet,
ready to go,
like a church in there
for Game 3 tomorrow night, and then we'll see this thing. And I tend to be the optimist, but man, this sure has the feel of a sweep right now. Obviously, Pittsburgh will be desperate. I should have been desperate last night, understanding the situation. But it's just, to me, it's almost inexplicable how just some of the fundamental stuff that they are breaking down on. Now, even that, they took the penalty for too many men on the ice, and the puck was right in front like that. I'm going to get myself all worked up. I don't need to do that. It just is very
shorthanded when the guys when they tripped over each other. It was Keystone Cops out there.
Yeah,
this is fine.
No,
I don't mind talking. I don't mind talking about these things.
It's been a thing. Listen,
struggle. I struggle to talk about this type of stuff.
I will say, and talk it again. It all Philadelphia is doing for these first 2 games better. It's not like it's whoa, look at this game. Whoa, look, can you believe? No, it's get to the puck, get there faster, and create opportunities, and don't let your opponent have any opportunities. And again, Pittsburgh is helping that out significantly, but it's not like, to me, and I mean, Philadelphia is playing well. There's no question about that. But to me, these first 2 games are much more about Pittsburgh just looking absolutely lost on the ice. And man, it's been frustrating. You combine that with the Pirates, I think, giving a couple of games away over the last 5-game stretch here, and it's a little frustrating. Now, the baseball side, and yes, there are some folks that are I think going overboard on the criticism, and there's been some dumb things done, some dumb plays, no question about it. But listen, the Dodgers make some dumb plays over the course. It's a 162-game season. We're still too early in to start making these grand proclamations on, the stupidity of a team or a base coach or anything like that. But they do have to get some of this stuff cleaned up quickly.
What happened with the base coach?
If they are to stay, well, that goes back to the not sending guys when you need to, sending them when you shouldn't be, being unclear.
Because I watched the game last week, and O'Neill Cruz was rounding third, and he was looking. Well, where was he?
Well, yeah, that was one where he's like, "Hey, stop! No, go!" And it's like, no, you can't. Like, you got
Cruz was turned around looking at the ball, like, dude, you got to look at your coach.
Yeah, but your coach has to be giving clear signals.
What's wrong, Brenton?
So that's
everybody's
been
walking around here with all their heads down and all. I don't know what's going on. Me and Rachel are the happiest people in at the Lube today.
Yeah. I'm hoping it all turns around. I'm not very optimistic, but I'm hoping it all turns around and that they remember. They suddenly, hey, wait a second.
This is playoff.
We're
hockey.
an NHL playoff team. We could go ahead and go play like that. Just a thought for tomorrow's game. But we'll see. And Skinner actually has been playing out of his mind. He gave up the one. I would say the last goal in game one is that was not great. Everything else has been I mean, Philadelphia has earned their goals, and he has kept them. Skinner has kept the Penguins in these first couple of games. But again, if you're not able to generate any offense with the firepower that the Penguins have through those four lines, that you're not going to win games.
All right, let's get into it there. The yelling and the screaming and the typical Sidney Crosby love fest. He's out there. He's chippy. He's crying out there. He's going back to his old ways. Now,
the Flyers have been smart. I mean, they are getting.
They're usually the ones losing their freaking heads.
Yeah, and they know. I mean, the refs early are not. I mean, if we can be honest, the Flyers are dirty in that first period. I mean, they are coming out, but they are so dirty that they know that the officials are not going to call all of these penalties.
How dare you? I'm offended
that they are going to get reactions over the course of time, if not from Crosby and Malkin themselves, although they have gotten it from them. Than from their teammates, because their teammates are not going to be happy that their stars are getting
a Rick Tocchet coach team is not going to take any kind of liberties with anybody. He would never do that as a player, and I'm sure he'd never do that as a coach.
But again, that is from a strategy standpoint.
Well, Frankenstein Malkin
very smart play.
They should just call him Dr. Hook. The man is always chopping and then cutting people. It's ridiculous. He's a stick man. There's no two words. No two other ways about it. Now, the double stick to the chin, which the referees came back and made the right call on that. His stick was up there in the guy's face. I get it, but he didn't cause the cut, so they pulled it back from a double minor. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm going back to Crosby's out of this game. He's out there, but what gets me is, he gets a lot of penalty calls, and rightfully he deserves them. I mean, he's Sidney Crosby, and he's been in the league for 20-some years. He deserves all them calls. I get it. I think the Flyers get it, But when Ray Ferraro, who I think does a pretty good job as the color commentator on the ice and stuff like that, as soon as the Flyers took the lead, Ray Ferraro starts going on a game and a half of talking about how great Crosby is and this and that, how rejuvenated he is and this and that. Boom, once they go down 2-0, it turns into something wrong with Crosby. He's not playing that. He must be hurt from the Olympics. There's no doubt. He's got the lasting stuff, and I'm like, really, man? Come on. We got to change. You got to change it that quick. Give the Flyers some credit. They're going out there and they're keeping their heads. They're playing chippy. They're doing stupid stuff. Flyers they're chippy. They're chippy. Not dirty, chippy. And the Pens are falling forward and biting on the bait the whole time. It's like they go back and they like, I like you sometimes say you play down to their opponents. It seems like the Penguins are doing that right now, and they're like lowering themselves to the Flyers standards, and they're not they're an unbelievable offensive team. I get it, but the Pens can be. They're just shutting them down. A lot of block. If you're watching, a lot of block shots out there. A lot of block shots.
Yeah,
and that means the guys are all bought in, and they're going with it. And it's like it's crazy, man. It might be a run out of the Flyers this year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Again, playoff hockey, I think, just very difficult to predict because it's. Teams that get hot, teams that
Darth Vader in the net doesn't hurt.
Well, it would help if the Penguins would occasionally challenge him. Would be, just a thought process. It's pretty easy for a goalie to look good when he's facing, 3 shots over the first couple of periods of a game.
But 20 were blocked. 20 got blocked.
No, the defense has been terrific for Philadelphia. There is no disputing that through the first.
This
two
just
games,
hurts you to talk about.
God, it's absolutely crushing.
Maybe we should call Booch to see if he wants to jump on the air with us.
Yeah, I think let's just let Booch take over today. I'd be okay with that. Although I'm still optimistic about my my Pirates bouncing back from not a great homestand. 3-4 is talking about hoping they could go 5-2. You at least want to go 4-3. They finish up 3-4, but at least did salvage that final game against the Rays. And again, treading water a little bit at the moment, but I still like this Pirates team and the overall trajectory they're on. I think getting Ozuna starting to swing a good bat here, that offense I think is going to be able to put up consistently good numbers, unlike last season and the last few, really. And I think the starting pitching obviously is very good. To me, the biggest question mark is, and yes, I mean, there's certainly some questions about some of the defense and some of the base running still, but to me, this is really going to come down to the bullpen and how effective it can be, how well it is utilized, how consistently effective it can be, how well it is utilized. And as we start to, work our way toward the middle part of the season, will you see the starters get more opportunities to go 6-7 innings if they're rolling at the very least, so that you're not throwing in your lesser bullpen guys as often as the Pirates have been over the last week or two. And then the other part of it is how well does the bullpen hold up over the course of the entire season, including on the back end. And
it is a
those are things that'll have to play
season,
out.
Brother. As you well know.
Yep.
But they've had that issue that they've started great the last few years, but they taxed the living hell out of their bullpen. I don't think they're doing that right now. I really don't. So, and again, I'm not ashamed to admit, but I sort of am a little bit. I do watch the Pirates play. They're actually a pretty good team to watch.
Yeah, they're certainly more fun than they've
Phillies.
been. And obviously having Skeens and now Griffin as draws helps. Hopefully start getting a little nicer weather here for the next homestand. But yeah, I think all of the pieces are in place for this to be at least a more entertaining team, a team that gives you a reason to come to the ballpark. And again, hopefully they can clean up some of the things that have plagued them early in the season. But the other thing is that National League Central is everybody's playing well, and it feels wide open. I mean, I still think, to me, the Brewers are still the team that long term it feels like that's the team best built for success over 162 game season. But listen, the Cubs are off to a very good start. Now the Cardinals have they're hot now. They feel like some things are maybe coming together there. Obviously, the Pirates are making some early season noise, so we'll see how again it all plays out. But more optimistic am I right now about the Pirates than I am the Penguins, and I would not have thought that. I really thought worst case scenario, Penguins would be 1-1 coming out of the two home games, and this is before game one. But But even after game one, Goon, I'm like, well, they'll
snap out of it.
Yeah, you have to come out and play better in game two, and be sharper offensively, have a better idea of what it is you're wanting to do. And I think they looked worse, at least through the first two periods. And that's why I just don't know. Again, is it possible that they could turn things around? Sure, but man, there's a lot of stuff they got to clean up in a short amount of time. And my big thing in any sport is confidence. Well, that's a very confident Flyers team now, and it's a well-earned confidence. And I don't know about the Penguins were saying, a lot of the Penguins were saying the right things in the post game there after game two. Hey, we do have a lot of guys that have been through this. We know what it takes, and we can turn this around. And that's obviously what you would want and expect any team to say when you're down 2-0. It'd be a real bummer if you're a fan. We got no answers 2 games in, and we're going to fold our tent because there's no chance of us solving this. But it feels like there's very little chance of the Penguins solving this in the time frame that they need to solve it in right now. So we'll see. I think we'll get a very quick indication tomorrow night. Again, Flyers are going to come out
at home
blazing. Yes. And, can the Penguins withstand that?
Absolutely insane crazy.
And can the
gotta
Penguins get some pucks on net?
No, they don't need that.
Find a way to get that first goal, because that feels
or a goal
crucial to me. That would be nice. A goal would be nice. Yeah, that would be different anyway for the Penguins.
Just for Allen's sake, I hope it's not a sweep. That would be ugly for Mr. Allen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to stomach game 3 if that first period goes in Philadelphia's favor in short order. Let's take a break here. When we come back, do want to touch on a couple of other sports news items from Pittsburgh, as of course the NFL draft also gets underway on Thursday night, and we'll touch on that. Also touch on the sometimes, and again, fan short for fanatic. I get it, folks. You're going overboard in some of the criticism here of James Franklin, and I'll talk about that when we come back as well. It is the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, Coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College.
And back here on a Tuesday afternoon as the Dear Goon gets ready to depart for Florida.
Yes.
And a good time had by all. Very sorry I'll be missing that. Love that trip and everything that it's about.
We'll be at Valerie's house this time Friday morning.
Yes, indeed. Wonderful place. So, couple of things touching on. Did you see the kiddos that Mangum threw the ball up to? The one, the
brother
girl
and sister.
the jersey. Yeah, I mean that. If you didn't see it, Google it and look it up. And I think that whole family is going. I don't know if it's the next home game or sometime in the next home stand. Anyway, they're all going and sitting in the nutting box, and will meet with Mangum before the game. Like it's cool when those things occur and then build upon themselves. Obviously, the sister and that, I don't know, they're in the 9-10 age neighborhood is at least what it looked like.
Boy, he had a little swagger to him catching that ball.
Yeah, so it was cool. If you didn't see it, again, you can look it up. Just look up Mangum throws ball to brother sister, and you'll see all kinds of stories come up on it. But Mangum sees that the girl has his jersey, and they're in the upper deck in the outfield. Yep. So, I mean, it's a pretty good
home
toss.
game, right? Just so I know.
Yeah, yeah. And so it's a pretty good toss, and Mangum does throw it up, and the brother has his glove there and reaches over the railing and brings it in and immediately gives it to his sister because he knows Mangum is his sister's favorite player. And she is thrilled and hugs. I mean, it is
instant.
It is honestly like it's just such a wonderful, touching scene.
I mean, honestly,
between a brother and sister.
God rest your sister's soul, but you have a sister. You understand what it's like. You know what I mean? The love of a brother, the love of a sister, and stuff like that.
Yep. It was a very special moment.
It was very nice.
And it's cool now that it's,
Was that right field?
Taking on a life of its own.
I don't even know
really.
where Magnum is.
Yes.
It was right field. So last year, where I sat for my Pirates game, I yelled at Castellanos. I was like, yo, Casty, because my wife's friend Odile was with us. And she's standing there. I think she maybe had a Castellanos jersey on. So he throws a ball up, and I'm like, I'm watching this kid yesterday or the other day, and I'm like, that's me right there. And all I could think about was, and Odile was my Carrie's friend's name. She's getting ready to catch a ball, and I'm just like, I have a nightmare. It's like, here comes the Marsha Brady football to the face, broken nose. That's all I could think about. But she ends up catching the ball, and she was like, she loves it because she had a total crush on Castellanos and stuff like that. But it just reminded me of that. It was awesome. But, again, anybody who has a brother, anybody who has a sister, when you watch that video how much it means. And it's like, wow, that is awesome.
It was just a really...
That makes your parents very proud right there. That you're raising some good kids right there. I think they were Philadelphia kids. Just they were at their grandparents from Pittsburgh.
That's
and they were forced to wear Pirate uniforms, but they were actually Philly fans.
The thing with and actually I saw an interview this morning with the parachutist who landed on the scoreboard at the Virginia Tech spring football game. And I saw and I guess he did suffer a shoulder injury, nothing overly major, but he did. And he said it was just a wind gust that really surprised him and came at a bad time. And he actually said if he didn't hit the scoreboard, he probably would have died. Like he said,
oh really?
Yeah, he said that the scoreboard. The interview I saw, he said you just didn't have enough time to really react, and you're just trying to do whatever you can. And he was trying to keep something else from deploying because he was afraid he was going to get blown off of the scoreboard. And he gave all kinds of credit to the fire company getting there. I mean, they had him down in 15, or they were there within 15 minutes. And he gave all kinds of credit to them and said, again, I guess he's done over 1,000 jumps. It wasn't like a lack of experience or anything, but I'm reading through some of the comments on different things from the weekend, and there's some Penn State fans. It's like, well, there's James Franklin for you, always trying to make it a show instead of now. Folks, that's
the
excessive. Number of schools and teams who have parachutists bring in the flag,
especially in military school like
yes, Tech. I mean, come on, like that is ridiculous to try to pin that on James Franklin and any kind of that is just something. And I think that the parachutist was meeting with James Franklin, actually, I think it was this morning or this afternoon. And so I get there are folks out there that don't like James Franklin. They're glad he's gone, whatever. That's fine. Hold back on the over-the-top criticism where there is none warranted. Again, anytime somebody is jumping out of a plane, right, there is going to be some risk involved. You try to minimize it as much as you can. The guy, the interview with the parachutist, and I'm forgetting now, I do a lot of flipping around in the morning, and I'm not even sure now where it was, but he said that if if they knew there were those conditions, they would not, like they do call it off if they know about that. He said that there was nothing showing. And he said that, I mean, it does happen. It's rare, but he said, you don't always know when a wind gust is going
you're
to
jumping
occur.
into a stadium that has layers, sections. Some were full, some weren't full. There's going to be gusts of air.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very scary moment, and
it was funny,
and it
but then when
delayed
you
the
think
game.
about it,
well,
you're
listening to him, I mean, again, what do you know, watching it, and he's like, no, if that scoreboard wasn't there, I'm probably not able to talk to you today because I've probably perished.
Wow.
But he also turned around and said, if I have the opportunity, or not if I have the opportunity, he's the host asked him, do you plan on parachuting again? He said, oh, yeah, as soon as the shoulder rests up like that. I mean, this was a fluky thing, and the circumstances were very unusual and all of that. But, I know what I'm doing, and I'll happily go back and do a bunch more jumps over the coming years.
But
so
you're talking about the same people who still downplay and yell at Bill O'Brien for using Penn State as a stepping stone. They're like, we're not a stepping stone. Like, come on. The James thing is over. I get it. There's people who are frustrated by it. There are people who don't like him, didn't like him. And then that that vocal group grew as it went along. But, I do seem it's an unhealthy relationship that he has with Penn State and that Penn State has with him right now.
Well, yes,
it
I
really
think by
is.
and large, yes.
He's in there. I don't know. He's still talking a lot about Penn State, whereas I think most coaches would be like, "Hey, it's over. I'm on to Virginia Tech. I'm not talking about Penn State anymore." But the majority of stuff that's comes out of Blacksburg is that, and our fans, again, rightfully or not, they have an angst towards him and stuff like that, what he says. And there's stuff that he said and he has said that he made a comment last week, and I was like, just look at what it said. And it said, when we left Penn State, it was different than when we left it in a good place. Pretty much saying that we left it in a good place.
Yeah.
But that it could be construed where he said, it's the only reason we left, the only reason there was anything good going there is because of me. And 100%, it's not what he said nor meant by what the comment came out. And it's all on how the voice inflection or how it's written or how it's said.
Yeah,
but it is somewhat unhealthy, the relationship that he has with Penn State and Penn State has with him right now. But that'll move. That'll go away.
Yeah, and not to dwell on going down this path, but I do think with perspective, which will come with time, that Penn State benefited James Franklin and James Franklin benefited Penn State. Maybe not on either end to the degree that both were hoping, but a lot more good times, a lot more good things that occurred over the course of that tenure. And, Penn State now is in a place where a Matt Campbell can come in, and it is not crazy pie-in-the-sky talk to think that Penn State could be in the conversation here on the national front quickly. I don't want to get into, within a year, within 2 years, within a few years. And I will say the recruiting thing, we talked about this when James Franklin was here. Because now I'm seeing pushback on he wasn't a great recruiter. He might have been a pretty good recruiter. Whatever. We're going to get into the elite. This is
I
great.
don't think recruiting has anything to do with it anymore.
The fact is that Penn State recruited well. They did not recruit at the level that Ohio State and Alabama and Georgia were. Okay, that is true. And there are people that, if you're going to be labeled a great recruiter, also, resources, the other things that do come into it, and I know there are people that hold grudges against Franklin for pointing out that compared to those elite programs, when he came in, Penn State was not there. And got Penn State to pony up some pretty significant money to get at least closer to there than what they had been. Regardless of what you think of all of that, I do think what we're seeing early indications with Matt Campbell, and it is really early, so again, I'm not making any sweeping proclamations here, but it does feel like Matt Campbell has a very good feel for what it is he wants to do on the recruiting front and is setting about doing that very effectively. Now, again, we're going to see over the course of the long haul, and it'll be really 3 or 4 years until you get a real feel for, okay, this is how it's going to work. Obviously, this first year, it is kind of throwing together what you can, bringing a bunch of kids from Iowa State, keeping some kids from Penn State and seeing how well, and getting some others from elsewhere, seeing how well you can get all of that to gel. But then, you want to be building up from in-house. And I do think the one thing it feels like Campbell and Franklin have in common, and again, we'll see, maybe I'm wrong about this as it plays out, but certainly when you look at what he did at Iowa State, like the transfer portal is not going to be the end-all be-all. It's not going to be a retooled complete lineup every year. Hey, we got to go get the best guys. And, 20 new starters in from other schools, a la Colorado or something. But it does feel like he has a good enough feel. And, yeah, you know what? We have a need here and a need there. And, by gosh, transfer portal will serve us well. Let's go target 6 or 7 guys to fill these 4 or 5 spots. Is what it feels like. That's going to be similar to what we saw with James Franklin, where the portal is going to be used and at least, attempted to be used effectively for particular needs in particular years.
Yeah, I like the words that are coming out of the Lash building, and that is that some guys that were hangovers from the old regime to now, and it's like it's about football again. It's not about the excitement, the build up, when we're going to announce a commitment type of thing. It's just like business. It's just like, okay, whatever, we got that. Okay, on to the next one. Let's go.
Yeah,
and then this is these guys, and that's the word I have heard more than anything, and that is they are football coaches. These guys are football coaches. They love football. They love everything about it, but they know that recruiting is the lifeblood of any kind of football team.
Yep.
Especially at the Division I level, and especially this level. So, I talk to coaches on our staff now, and they're all like, not a knock against Iowa State or anything like that, but, you walk into any high school in this country with a Penn State hat on versus an Iowa State hat on, what do you think's going to happen? And that's going to be instant you're instantly going to be recognized and respected, and like, okay, all right, these guys are legit. This is Penn State. Iowa State's not a blue blood, and we get that, we understand that, they understand that. But now these guys are walking into these places and saying, I can look at and talk to any recruit I want, and that's the attitude these guys have, and I love it. I really, really do.
Yeah, I do. The NIL stuff definitely does come into play. Sure. Anybody that thinks that's not relevant with any of these sports in this day and age, you're just not dealing with reality. But again, we've talked about it a lot, Goon, but I do think it's worth going over it because I don't know what do you have thoughts on James Franklin say, well, we had $7 million in NIL, now it's come out that it was 13.7 or whatever.
Yeah,
because
yeah, I mean, it seems like another excuse. I mean, you could sit there and every year Franklin seems to have a different excuse for this or that.
I have a question about it.
I don't know.
And I don't know if you know, and maybe it's an easy answer. I have not have not bothered to delve into it that far. But what I am wondering, and yeah, I mean, it does feel like it was being used as an excuse in that regard. But I've seen some, again, people. Franklin was just flat out lying. Yeah, and maybe he was. I don't know. But what I do wonder, and I genuinely I don't know, and I'm just wondering, are there different ways you can look at the same numbers and like could the collective have been 7 million,
and then the profit share was the other 7.5 or 6.5 million. That's what I was thinking too.
And I'm just wondering if it was a matter of the interpretation of the language. And again, I'm not looking to make excuses or anything like that. I'm just saying I honestly don't know what all, like, can two people be talking about two different things when they say NIL? Like, well, I thought you were talking about the money that was raised by the collective.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you're throwing in the money, I don't know. Or is everybody always on the same page with that? And I don't even know, like the 13.7 or whatever it is I'm not even sure like what is being counted with that. And like if an individual is going out there and, hey, I have my own deal worked out with this group, is that I would think that is being counted in the overall NIL, which could skew something, right? If you have one kid who's getting, top hotshot quarterback who has a couple of national deals worked out, and he's getting $3 million or $6 million over the course of his college career, well, that can skew then the numbers. Like, that's not what the collective or the payment from the university is. But if you get a couple of athletes with those types of deals, and I just don't know enough about how all of that stuff is counted, and is it consistent? Is everybody looking at this the exact same, or are some schools saying, well, no, this is what we mean by NIL, and that's then separate? I just don't know enough about it, but it seems like there's at least the possibility that James Franklin was actually talking about one set of numbers and was being accurate when the full picture is this. And again, I don't think just as you see with Major League Baseball, right? And man, it feels like we're not going to have a season next year, right? Like at least not a full season. Feels like we're heading down a bad path there because those two sides are digging in.
Yep.
But it is not always just as cut and dried as the highest paid team is always the championship team. Now, the Dodgers are skewing some things, no doubt, here these last couple of years. But what you are seeing pretty consistently is, your bigger market teams, your higher paid rosters tend to produce better than, lo and behold, the lowest paid rosters. And so, again, it's not that I think Penn State needs to outbid Ohio State and Alabama and Texas on all of these recruits, but you need to be in the ballpark, right? And then you need to sell the other things that you think make it special and worthwhile. And I think there's a lot of things there across the board for Penn State. And I think, again, they're in the ballpark really across the board with most of these sports now, at the very least in the ballpark, with the top end teams, top end in terms of payouts, with NIL, but also you have a huge alumni base. You have with that a huge network in all kinds of different fields. You have a high profile name. And again, are there others that have that and more? Yep. But I think the overall package that Penn State can present, again, kind of across the board, but in particular with football, is at the very least comparable to whatever the best packages are that are out there in terms of financial opportunity, backing from the university that you're going to have, networking, alumni groups, all of those things. Again, to me, at the very least, Penn State is able to be competitive with the very best. And then it comes down, obviously, to coaches' relationships, what kind of a feel do you have with the fan base? And then somewhere in there, I like to think still it matters, the majors that you have, the opportunities that you have academically with what a kid is wanting to pursue as a potential career should the sport not lead to a professional career, or even if the sport does lead to a professional career that you can then fall back on once that career ends.
Yeah, I mean, even when I was coaching Division III, we used to just say that it was your college choice is a 40-year choice for you right now. It's like you got to look at it from high school, or where are you going to be professionally in 25 years. I mean, it's easy to sit there and say when your pro football career is over, but you need to look back on your education. And Penn State does a very, very good job. Obviously, I'm a little misguided with my wife being part of the Alumni Association, but they do a lot of stuff around the country and around the different games and stuff like that. Sure. They do a great job with that. And what is Penn State known as? They have the most CEOs of any alumni base. And I don't know. I don't think Penn State's ever going to go down that route of like the crazy money for like an Underwood at Michigan getting $7 million. And now there's word that he may not even start this year. Like, okay, what are you doing as an investor or somebody who says, I gave you $5 million towards this guy, and now he's not even playing? Like, come on, you're going to ask me for $5 million more. This is what we've always said. It's not sustainable that way because it's going to burn people left and right. So it is what it is. But what I also think about Coach Campbell, and he brings 32 guys and a staff from Iowa State. They didn't come for the money. They came because they love him and they love their position coaches. I mean, I am convinced of that. It wasn't like Penn State said, we're going to triple your money, whoever you bring from Iowa State. That's not what we did. They were. Oh, I'm sure that they have a little bit more money in profit share for sure.
Although I don't think it hurt.
Yeah, well, 32 guys though, packing up and literally moving halfway across the country because of the coach. That to me is very impressive. And we had James move 5 hours south of here, and almost in the same time code, in the same time zone. But we had 10 guys leave with him, and 5 or 6 to 8 coaches and stuff like that. So it is what it is. I just think that maybe the Iowa State guys, they are more like old school recruiting, like how we would as Penn State fans. I think we are, and that is we're not that flashy recruiting. Like, you're not going to come in here and we're going to flash and wow you and ooh and ah you. I don't know. It's never been Penn State's way, and I never liked when we were trying to do that. So I think that this new staff understands, what makes Penn State tick. But the bottom line is you still need to go out and get the top recruits. Now, how do you do that? That's what Coach Campbell's got to find his niche in that world, being new to the East Coast. He has some ties, obviously, from Ohio, but has he recruited New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, Virginia before. So it'll be interesting.
Take a break here.
Yeah.
We are back with a second and final hour of the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show here from Quaker Steak and Lube after this commercial break.
You look a bit nervous, eh?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak and Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox, State College.
And we are back here on a Tuesday afternoon. Of course, at 4 o'clock, the all-you-can-eat wing buffet here at Quaker Steak and Lube gets underway. One of the highlights of the week down here. Again, 4 o'clock until close. You can come on down and enjoy all of the great Quaker Steak and Lube wings and all of your favorite sauces and the sides that go with it. Great service, great beverages, and great food. And if wings aren't your thing, again, you need to reevaluate where you went wrong in life. But they do have a great selection of other menu items here as well.
And the hockey and basketball playoffs.
Yes, and it really is one of the largest menus in the area. I mean, there is
you can tell you really
foods.
Explore it so much, Ironhead.
Yeah.
You just jump everywhere.
I don't get hung up on just a couple of things that I really like, and
you're a
they become my
classic.
go-tos.
You are a fat kid. All right, a fat kid, aka me. I find something that I like at a restaurant,
and just roll with it.
You just go with it.
Yeah,
you just go with it. Like, I know what I want when I go to certain restaurants because I've had it. And then,
but I do like some of their other things.
I like jumping
do.
around.
I've tried, but
the nice thing about the buffet
right
is to try some different wings flavors.
Yes, yeah, that's a great time. Great time to do that and experiment a little bit with some of the flavors that maybe you've been wondering about. So again, Quaker Steak and Lube, our home away from home. Great place to come and watch your favorite sports teams, whether baseball, NBA, NHL, golf action at this time of the year, anything else going on while you're enjoying the great food. And again, great service, great beverages, all available here at Quaker Steak and Lube. And again, neither of us are going to be here Blue White Weekend. I am really
Blue
curious.
White and Draft Weekend.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see just kind of what some of the takeaways are from the fans' perspective on the weekend are. Kind of what this actually looks like with the practice/scrimmage and different.
Did you
feel
see
to
the
it.
new pictures of the stadium? Like within the last few days when they put up the forks that are on the new. Jesus, they are high.
Yes.
And then I had been told a year or two ago that they are actually going to have a set of stands that are going to be higher than the lights, that are higher than the scoreboards that are there now. We're actually going to have that section above the press box will be actually higher than the TV, than the television screens, which is insane.
It's
I
up there.
Yeah. And I said to you months ago when we were talking about the first time, and I said, can you imagine that SMU game a couple of years ago when it was 11 degrees? Or the hockey game, how cold that would have been up top.
You want to dress appropriately is what they always tell you. Dress appropriate.
So let me think now. You got here. You would have been here in 91 as an undergrad. So then they put the forks up. They put that big first section on there.
Yep.
So it was 85,000 for my first 10 years here as a fan. And then my first Penn State game was versus Cincinnati. We won 81-0. That was the new with the north side 2 or 1 big 10,000 seat section up there, which just really made this place a lot more intimidating, in my opinion. Remember what they were angry about though? The fans were?
I still. I mean, I go back to the track.
You had the track
inside
when you were a kid.
The stadium. Yeah, young kid, but yes.
Yeah, I don't remember the track, but I started coming here in 83. And I don't remember the track being there.
I think the first game I went to was probably 74, 75.
Jeez.
I don't really remember it specifically, but it would have been in that.
Were they already calling for Joe's retirement in 74, 75? Sure. He's too old.
I'm sure there were some. You do wonder how different. And there's that. It's an exercise in futility. I understand, but it's still, to me, it's a fun thing to think about. is if we had social media back in the 70s or certainly the 80s, but really the 70s, how many things would be, how different would how many things be?
Oh, my God.
In terms of what we now look back on and know. And I really don't know. I know there are people, well, you don't understand how Paterno was powerful. Well, yeah, he was, but I don't know that he would have had the chance to gain the power that he did had social media existed and been the force that it was. And, it does make me chuckle when these teams aren't influenced, ADs aren't influenced by social media. They're just making the call. Okay. And they may honestly believe it. But to say that it doesn't play a role, and I'm not going to, we could probably debate how much of an impact it actually does or doesn't have on various organizations and schools. But listen, at the end of the day, it is sports from certainly at the Division I college level and on up is a sports entertainment business. And for a sports entertainment business to succeed, what you need are fans willing to pay to watch the event, willing to pay to attend the event, willing to pay to get the all-important merch and the bling and all of those things. And so to some degree, you better be paying attention to what the social media and fans. Now, again, I'm not sitting here telling you, well, you see 5 tweets saying that it's time for the coach to go. By God, it's time for the coach to go.
Listening.
I get it. We're still talking about a small segment of the overall fan base that is active on social media. But you probably need, if you particularly are not watching it, you better have somebody that is at least paying attention to it. And hey, you know what? We need to put out at least a statement on this or that to try to change the narrative that seems to be developing there.
Do we have people who just follow our guys, our players, and staff? That's their job.
I'd be very surprised if that's not the case.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know that.
But let's go back a little step here. And you've heard me ask you this before, and maybe I didn't or maybe I did. But, one of the questions I ask a lot of these guys when I do my player interviews on the Blue White Player Show is I'll talk to Letterman and I'll talk to players now. And like me and Landon, me and Tangwell, we constantly have this. It's not an argument. It's a question. Would you rather have the anonymity that we had in the 80s and the 90s of doing what we wanted when we wanted without cameras, or everything is filmed, but you're paid?
Yep.
And then, remarkably, 100% of the guys that are my age, your age, our age, I'm completely fine with those cell phones. I wouldn't need the money. I don't need the money. I rather have my, and that is the other thing, is that these kids are just held to such different standards anymore, higher standards, because they can't be doing. If we did stuff that you're not proud of, I'm not proud of, that you can get some serious, wasn't the right thing to do, that people would look at it from the outside going, what in the hell is wrong with that crew? That doesn't mean you're in wrong or off, but it's just like the way it is now. It's how would that be judged now, like today's standards? And it's like, whoa, okay, wow.
And to that end, I am always, and I shouldn't be. Because it's just, anytime a kid gets in trouble of any kind, inevitably. And again, it is a small segment, and I understand that. But inevitably, there are the keyboardists that run and, well, the coach has got to get rid of this guy. And especially at the college level.
Let's just say it. Brendan Davis. He got in trouble last year, right, in the offseason.
Yeah.
And everybody 100%, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, and that's
an example.
Yeah, but there's yes, and when you are, I just wonder how many of the keyboardists that are writing that, well, they have to get rid of this guy, and like, one, do you remember, like, did you go to college? Do you remember your high school and college years? And again, I'm sure some of them really were. I mean, I didn't get into trouble. I'm guessing you still made some mistakes along the way and have some regrets, if you're honest about it. But I get it that not everybody has the same experience. But also, how many of them are parents? And it's like, as you're watching your kid, yes, you want your kid to do the right thing all of the time. And you know darn well, what with them being human beings and all, and peer pressure and just, again, their curiosity, trying to learn, push boundaries as all kids do. And again, I get there's varying degrees of it, but you really want others to just, your kid had a chance and then he made a mistake and now he's out of here. You got to go find. Or do you want, hey, boy, that was a mistake. That was a dumb thing to do, especially in this day and age and all of the things that we were just talking about. Can we find a way to help you if you need help? And, that's the other thing, is that it's always and it's just how quickly you can get labeled. And I just related, but not specific to this, but
yeah,
I just was listening, it was last week, to a national news talk show, and they were talking about DUIs and the way they are perceived. And I think Tiger Woods may have sparked the discussion, but it veered into not Tiger Woods. But it was a discussion on DUI and the way society treats it, the way it has changed, and what it means if you get a DUI. And this is one of those things with the kids, today, back in the day and whatever, is you don't know, right, as a fan and maybe even as a coach. Hopefully the kid will be honest with you when talking to you. But like with a DUI, I think a lot of people assume, well, if you're getting pulled over for drunk driving, you've got a problem. Like, and clearly it is a problem. I know
what
I'm saying is people are
you
like,
could have 2 beers
you
after
must have,
this show.
Yeah, or that you must be an alcoholic or something like that. Again, you should not, let me just be clear here, under any circumstance, you should not be driving and drinking, okay? We all agree on that, or should all agree on that.
Yep.
But there are, and again, under any circumstances, that is the case. If somebody doesn't normally drink and they are going through a heartbreaking divorce, or they just lost a parent and they went out with buddies and very atypically, like they maybe have a glass of wine once a month, but on this night they're out with a couple of buddies remembering their parents, and they get 4 or 5 beers in them, and they're like, I just live a couple miles down the road. Again, should not do it. 100% agree. But that person is in a different circumstance, right? If they get pulled over, again, should be punished. All of the things, if they get caught. That is different, and the circumstances are different than somebody who is getting sloshed every night and is driving,
rolling the dice.
But you have no idea when that, like the police don't have any idea. Again, maybe some friends and family know, but I mean, generally speaking, I don't know. Is that the first time that person ever got drunk? Well, come on. You're telling me, well, could it happen? Yeah, it could. And as could, well, this is the first time they finally got picked up after 5 years of putting people in danger. Yep, that is possible too. And you don't know when they get picked up. So, again, hopefully, as a coach, to circle it back to the original discussion, you sit down with the kid, and if there is a real problem there, and there may be, then get them that. Again, I'm speaking as a parent. I would like to think, hey, let's not worry about you being on the team or not being on the team. Let's get you the help you need. And if it was just a night of, then, hey, let's help you navigate making better decisions, understanding the microscope that you're under, and helping you better handle, if it was stresses that were coming your way, if people were influencing you, or, doing like the Flyers do with the Penguins and trying to get a reaction out of you. Dirty dogs.
And I'm,
again,
I'm a drinker. I haven't drank since my neck surgery and stuff like that, is what you all know. But when you're drinking, like, what if you forget to eat? What if you had not been sleeping well? A lot of these things play into that alcohol, like, having, they lessen your reaction time, and the drinking thing, it just escalates itself.
Well,
you don't know what's going on. You don't know if they ate or this and that. You don't know if this is normal thing. I have one thing to tell you. Do you know that those new Pennsylvania license plates that are coming out right now, that every cop has a scan, and that they are chipped, and that license plate will instantly tell the police officer if the license is if the car is registered and insured instantly. So that gives them a whole nother reason to pull you over, for anybody who goes up there and does have a few drinks after and that's an easy way for these cops just to get behind you, zap your license plate, and your but your car is not registered, or that's out a month, you're going to get pulled over, and guess what? You're blowing into the thing, and you had 2 or 3 drinks, and all of a sudden you got a DUI now, blah, blah. So but
well, and the other part, just to follow up with that too, because the time, and that's what I'm saying. Again, you need to have the awareness and all of those things. So this is not. I don't want this to be perceived as, they're saying sometimes it's okay. Nope, it never is. But the time to make. Alcohol impairs your judgment. Like that's the whole problem, right? And so the time to make the arrangement for what is going to happen if you need to get somewhere else from where you're at after consuming alcohol is before you consume the alcohol, because again, it impairs your judgment. And it's like, after 6 beers, then I'll make the decision. Well, that's not a good decision. But again, if it's an unexpected situation and you can see where an atypical, and the other thing is, if you're not a typical heavy drinker and you are drinking more than you normally do or maybe ever have, then it is also more likely, right, that you're going to be putting others in peril.
Sure.
Somebody that does anything more often, and again, I want to be clear, I'm not suggesting that you should do it. Wow, I drive drunk all the time, so Ironhead said it's all right. Nope.
We are not.
But you may,
everybody
be
makes
better
mistakes.
at hiding it. So yes, but you don't know whether it's a first-time mistake. And I just, with with college kids and with the pressure that they are already under, and as you said, I mean, yep, the money is great, but it also comes with additional pressure, additional spotlight, and microscope, and all of those things. And so when you do make a mistake in judgment, it gets amplified if it gets found out, and it's more likely to get found out today. And again, there may come a time where it's, okay, well, this is the third time we've had the same conversation. We do wish you luck. Okay, yep. But for one time, for an incident, and really even for a couple, again, depending on the severity of the incident as well. But I think it's more about trying to have a positive impact on a kid's life and get them heading in the right direction. And I think that's, I would like to think that's what we all want our coaches to be, is partly teachers as well, and actually impacting. Yes, put out a winning program. We all want that. That's awesome. But yeah, I'm naive enough to want my coaches to also really be focused on improving the lives of the individuals who come through their program. And again, when you're talking about a football team and the numbers there, right? Yes, you got 105 guys on a team. Mm-hmm. The chances of some of them testosterone-driven, college-aged males making some poor choices from time to time, it's pretty high. Even if you have done a great job establishing the culture and they come from a good background and all of those things, still going to make some dumb decisions somewhere along the way, almost guaranteed.
This is not to make light of the situation, but, by like alcoholic standards versus what some of us larger men, athletic men who can drink, like, how many drinks do you have a week? And you're like sitting there and you're like, what do I say here? You know what I mean? Like, honest to God, this, I will not say names, but we had a guy get caught in college with a DUI, made a mistake, just screwed up, and he owned it, paid his price, all that stuff. And they aren't cheap anymore. That's a $10,000 mistake is what you're making. So I think that if society is going to harm you more, I don't think it's going to happen because, you monetarily get hammered when you get a DUI anymore. But, the coaches pull them aside and they're like, hey, what do you normally drink? What's your normal night out, Oh, boy. And it's like you're talking to a guy who's an older man and, they're being taught by like their, like the team, well-being guys saying, hey, 6 or more drinks in a night, you that's really bad. And you're like, I had 40 last night. You know what I mean? Like, how do you tell an older, how do you tell somebody like your parent or your uncle or your grandfather like, yeah, we drink a case of beer before we go out. You know what I mean? And it was always like one of those things. And I remember the guy who got in trouble, he lowballed the hell out of it. And by lowballing it, I'm saying he went cut it in half. And the coaches still flipped out because they could not believe the amount like that he was, oh my God, you're a hardcore alcoholic because you have 7.7 drinks a night and this and that, and it was just like, holy crap, if they only freaking knew. Yeah, we would sit there and have a case of beer before we would even go out for a nighttime at a bar back in the day. So it's like those standards are a little skewed when you talk to mutant people versus normal people. So I just wanted to add that little 2 cents in there.
But again, I think you want young people, I think to have the opportunity to learn from their mistakes. Famously, you go back to the Rick Sales and Bobby Ingram. And there's a whole. I don't want to start. There are a lot of people that make a lot of, in some cases, like really bad mistakes when they're young. And if you don't want to call them, I got into a big debate whether if you do something purposely, whether it's a mistake, whatever, an error in judgment, a dumb decision, whatever you want to call it. I'm just saying, like, there are people. I mean, we've had people who have committed violent acts, right? Like Jelly Roll. There's a number of people who have done horrible things. I mean, like reprehensible things when they're young.
What did he do?
And then they learn from them, and they turn their lives around.
What did Jelly Roll do?
You can read about it.
Oh,
he
really?
had quite the.
I didn't know that.
But again, that's the hope is that you can get them turned around and headed in the right direction. So,
I
think that's a much better way to go.
From my father, and that is that like his big thing with his children and letting other people know is like you need to let your kids learn how to fly on their own. And that was my dad's thing. It was like, they're going to drink, they're going to do stupid stuff. You got to let them do it. Because if you're hovering over them and watching them over every single step of the way and controlling the whole narrative and all this and all that, when they do get freedom, they can't handle it. And I've seen that happen a ton of times with guys. Remember Todd Marinovich, quarterback for USC, whose father controlled his whole life. He finally gets away from his dad.
Yeah.
What does he turn into? A complete freaking maniac.
Well, there's the famous Paul Harvey piece, and it wasn't really Paul Harvey, and I'm forgetting the name of the guy. I think Pitts was the last name of the, but it was titled My Wish, and it was kind of along that where the gist of it was, I hope you skin your knee because that means you're out. Like, the helicopter mom idea of no, let your kids. It's okay if they skin their knee. It's like I'm even okay if you
break your knee.
You try a beer, but I hope you don't like it. I hope this and that, and it's all. You hope your kids do learn and experience, and then learn from those experiences and make
you're going through that
the
right
right
now
decisions and get on the
turtle.
right path. But I think it is as challenging, at least as challenging today as it's ever been, because of all of the different influences and all of the different ways that kids can get persuaded down wrong paths, right? Like, there's always friend groups and all of that, but now between computers and social media and we don't let that, to go to your point with Marinovich, it's like, okay, well, you don't allow it in your house.
Yeah.
Are you going to follow your kid every time? You're not going to let them go to any friend's house? Like, at some point they're going to get to a friend's house where some parent is not as strict or is not paying as close of attention, whatever it may be. They have an older sibling and the sibling's going to bring them in. And so you hope, again, it's all you can do is hope that you've given the tools so that they will ultimately make the right decision. But they're going to make mistakes. They're going to do things you wish they did somewhere along the way.
My mother-in-law, one of her daughter-in-laws had a child, and she's very protective. Don't do this. Don't do this. Just like constantly in a child, 1 or 2 year old kid's face. And my mother-in-law was just sitting there like, let him eat the dirt. He'll never do it again.
Yeah.
By you jumping out of your chair and running over to him and saying, get out of the dirt, get out of the dirt. All you're doing is say to him, what's in that dirt?
Yeah. Got to find out.
I really want to know what that dirt's all about.
Yep.
And my mother-in-law raising 5 mutants on her own, and she was like, let him eat the dirt. He won't ever do it again. But he just doesn't register with some people.
Yeah. No, it's anyways.
Good weekend, Headley. Good luck to you.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Congrats
Good
on
luck to you.
hell of an honor, buddy.
Thank you. All right, we will take a break here. I'll be back to wrap things up after this. You're listening to the Lion Country Kia Goon and Ironhead show on Sports Radio 98.7 The Fox.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, the World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.
And back here, just Ironhead on the Goon and Ironhead show for the final segment today. And Goon and I will be back together on Tuesday of next week. We'll have at least one different co-host in on Thursday, and not 100% sure what all Thursday will look like at the moment, but we'll have some fun and talk some sports. And as you've seen today, you never know exactly what other issues we may be getting into along the way as well. A couple of other notes. Of course, the U.S. Open wrestling tournament is getting underway. Some of the wrestling gets underway today. The men's freestyle will be later in the week, and a lot of Penn Staters will be participating out in Las Vegas. Mitchell Messenbrink will not, and looks like Mitchell is going to be taking the summer and doing more on the camp front and not competing on the freestyle circuit, at least for a world championship type of spot. Did see Levi Haynes has taken accepted a bid to be on the U.S. Pan Am team. And again, a lot of the Nittany Lions will be competing at the U.S. Open in Las Vegas later this week. And it is one of the things that has changed considerably. You used to have, maybe a couple of kids on a college team that would be competing in freestyle in a given year. But now with at least most of the top programs, it is a good chunk of the squad that competes at some level, at least, on the freestyle circuit. And, I think it's one of those things, too, where I think you just have to have a feel as a kid and sometimes maybe as a coaching staff on, hey, are you wanting to compete year-round? And, again, freestyle is a little different than the folk style college competition in that you can pick your spots a little more, and 3 or 4 tournaments over the so-called off season from college wrestling can provide opportunities to get on the world stage and test your wares there, or at least have the opportunity to try to get to the world stage and compete there. And I do think sometimes it is good for kids to just get a break from the competition. And it can be good from a psychological standpoint, and hey, just need to give my mind a little chance to rest and focus on some other things, or give the body an opportunity to truly recuperate and get geared back up. Again, the college season is a grind. It just is very different than the freestyle season in terms of the way you've got to have your body prepared week in and week out during the course of the season, maintaining your weight. And again, with the college grind is also you're dealing with the class load, class management, and all of the other things that come with a college semester. A lot of times in the summer in particular, you can at least significantly lighten the course load. And again, you're gearing up for just a few specific competitions, and that's a little easier on the body at the very least, if not the mind as well. So, I think Mitchell has a pretty good feel for what he needs and where he's at, and I know he's got a lot going on in his personal life now too, and he has some other endeavors that he's pursuing. So I think again, you just gotta assess your situation in a given year or at a given moment, and realize that it's not everybody has to take the exact same path or is on the same course in terms of what they want from their career or what they want to do each year. And again, even if you're looking big picture career wise, maybe it's something that you just need to assess. And yeah, you know what? I need to take this year off so that I can gear up and make a real run over the following couple of years, or whatever the case may be. So it'll be interesting to see how some of the individuals do. I'm really curious to see how Tyler Kasak in particular does at the Open. That's probably the guy that I'm most intrigued just to kind of see where he's at on the freestyle stage right now at this stage of his career. And again, Penn State, the news continues to be on the transfer portal front that there is no news, and that in and of itself is, I think, speaking volumes about where Penn State is right now. Nobody in the portal, and it does not look anyway like they're getting anybody from the portal. And honestly, at this point, if they lost somebody, obviously they would have a spot open. But right now, with the 30-man roster limit, they're at 30, and so there's not with the roster as it's currently comprised, there's not a spot available there to bring somebody in if they're keeping the 30 guys that they have and have coming in, and it appears very likely now that is exactly what is happening, and that is a remarkable testament really to where the program is, how the kids feel about the program, and what the coaches have done in terms of getting that program to a point where everybody feels good about being part of it, feels like they are part of something special, and they don't want to be anywhere else. And I think when you look at the kids that they are bringing in, both this year's class and next year's class, special wrestlers, but also a lot of special kids, guys that just have their head on straight, know what they want to get out of the sport, get out of the experience with Penn State Wrestling. And I think there's been extremely good communication both ways on what the expectations are, on what the program will provide for the wrestlers, and then what the wrestlers and their families will get from the program and the benefits that will occur both in wrestling and on the academic front and in life, and just being able to be productive members of the community moving forward. So pretty special times right now, obviously, for Penn State Wrestling. Going back to where we started the program again, Penguins Flyers game 3 tomorrow night in Philadelphia. Flyers really have dominated these first 2 games overall, and it has been just a series of frustration for the Penguins and their fans. And maybe we do see something we better see something completely different tomorrow night, or this is going to be a pretty short series because, again, to this point, the Penguins just don't seem to have any sense of what they're wanting to accomplish offensively, and it's just been disjointed at best. Their offensive efforts, passing has not been crisp, and again, a lot of the mistakes they're making aren't forced errors. They're just really costly, poor decisions. To go back to that discussion, but this is just on ice decisions, and again, they're just not looking sharp in any way, shape, or form. And part of it may just be they are older in some key spots, and it may be that this season just has taken a toll on them. It's a long season, and I know, and I subscribe to the thought that, Malkin being out for a while, even Crosby missing some time, might benefit these guys when the postseason rolled around, but that might not be the case. It might just be that the body isn't as willing as the mind is at this point, and that they're just out of gas. Hoping that's not the case, and again, we'll I think get a pretty good indication by the end of the first period of tomorrow night's game of just kind of where they're at. I did see also, sticking with Pittsburgh sports for just a moment, the Athletic, and I think I have this right. The Athletic, I think it's weekly. They come out with their list of their power rankings for Major League Baseball, and it can change fairly significantly from week to week. This week did catch me a little off guard in one particular way, and that is the Pirates jumped up after the week they've had, jumped up 4 spots, and I'm not sure I would have believed at any point this season that the Pirates would be considered by anybody following Major League Baseball as a top 7 organization. And again, they can change quickly. The Pirates were 11th last week, but they are up to number 7 this week and in front of the Milwaukee Brewers, which I'd love to believe. I'm not sure I buy into that in terms of where they'll be for the season. The Dodgers, of course, are number 1. The Braves are number 2. The Yankees are 3. Then they have the Cubs 4. The Padres tied for 5th with the Tigers. And then the Pirates, the Brewers, the Rangers, who will visit the Pirates here, who the Pirates will visit for this next 3-game series starting tonight. And then Arizona rounds out the top 10 with Seattle 11 and Cleveland 12. Again, it's one organization's rankings. I get it. It seems odd to me that they moved up 4 spots from the last ranking given the recent results. I also think the Padres are too low. I get that they're in the same division with the Dodgers, but honestly, to this point in the season, and I follow the Padres a little more than I normally would because my kiddo follows them, but I'm not sure I wouldn't have the Padres right now at number 2, right behind the Dodgers. Obviously, the Braves would be up there, and the Yankees would be up there as well. But, boy, San Diego's got a very nice team, and Miller has just been ridiculous as the closer there for San Diego this season. Also, one other note I did want to mention on the Pittsburgh front, Mike Tomlin, it was announced earlier today, is going to be joining the NBC studio crew for Sunday Night Football. So as many had projected that Mike Tomlin would be a great fit as a commentator in one of the studios. That is, in fact, what his next job will be. Multiple sources saying Tomlin is going to join the Sunday night NFL pregame show on NBC. So I think that could be pretty fun. And that is going to wrap up today's show. We are flat out of time. Again, Goon and I will be back next Tuesday. Pretty sure I'll be here Thursday, and you can join then to see who the guest host is. Until then, be good and be safe.
You look a bit nervous, hey?
Thierry, what's it like to stand in the FIFA World Cup stadium?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Just tell me. Come on.
It's not something that you can put into words.
Such a tease.
You can't rush it. You will find out when it's your time.
Thanks for the wisdom, coach. So, how much longer?
Now go and make history, my man. Here's the World Cup you've been waiting for.
Actually, The World Cup's been waiting for me.
That's the spirit. Just remember who drove you here.
Inspiring every step of the next legend. The official matchball carrier, proudly sponsored by Kia. Inspiration connects us all.
If you love wings, if you love rings, and all kinds of other tempting things, great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
Get our Best Wings USA signature sauces, mouth-watering appetizers, or any of our delicious award-winning lube favorites.
Great times, great food, get to Quaker Steak Lube.
I'm the Modelo Recruiter, and I'm looking for fans with good hands and great speed. The ones who stay focused and never miss a play. They go the distance on game day, even when their team is away. I'm always watching, always looking to reward more full-time fans. Because football isn't really football without you.
Lusk & Associates Sotheby's International Realty proudly presents the introduction of our new State College office at 314 South Borough Street in State College. At Sotheby's International Realty, we advertise locally, nationally, and internationally, bringing the best of advertising and promotion to each and every one of our properties, big or small. Call now.
A lot has changed about State College. One thing that hasn't is W.C. Clark's Coffee Roasters on 234 East Calder Way. 30 different varieties of specialty coffee beans sourced from over 25 countries and roasted with love each morning in Happy Valley for over 45 years. They'll ship their fresh roasted coffee from their doorstep to yours. Order online at statecollegecoffee.com. That's statecollegecoffee.com.
Hi, welcome to Timberland Federal Credit Union, a financial cooperative for its members, tracing all the way back to 1973.
Experience Timberland Federal Credit Union, where you're greeted with a smile and financial solutions are tailored to your unique life journey. Here, we're not just financial professionals, we're your neighbors, people invested in your financial needs, literacy, and empowerment. Your dreams matter to us, whether they're about buying a home, growing a nest egg, or embarking on new adventures. TFCU draws from the past and invests in the future, offering modern tools like online banking to give you the freedom to manage your money practically anytime. Additionally, we're passionate about giving back both time and resources because enhancing our community is at the core of why we're here. Visit TFCU in person or online to learn more about our services and apply for a membership today.
WFXX, once again, the Fox, your sports radio.
Broadcasting live, loud and proud from Central PA's Sports Authority, WFXS America.
98.7, the Fox State College.